Okay, so hello and welcome back to another Discord bot video. But in this one, it's not really going to be a tutorial, though you can treat it as a tutorial, I guess. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking through our bot for the server and all its commands and how it's built and possible things you can take away from that for your bot, because I can't seem to actually get my test bot to run at the moment. It just is refusing to even run, or like the code just, I don't know. I'll try and fix that at the weekend, but for now I thought people really want a Discord bot video. This can be very helpful. So I'll try not to show anything I shouldn't because, well, I mean, most of it's on GitHub anyway. If you actually go to the FAQ, you'll see that we have Dapper Bot project. There you go. You can go onto the GitHub page and you can see it here. Here's the code. You go Discord bot, data, that's the wrong one, src, and then here's commands, all the commands. .ts is TypeScript, which is like a kind of extension of JavaScript. It reads the same. It's still like the same syntax, so yeah. We'll get into that anyway. You can go have a look if you want to see the code. So I'll go through it basically. You can obviously look at the code and I'll explain what different parts do and why we've got it and the uses and how it's kind of almost specific to our server and website that we're working on. So you can take it away and change it for your own stuff, but copying and pasting it will not work, which is a bad thing to do anyway, so, you know, don't do that. But you can take this away and, you know, find it useful. So I guess we'll just go through in order almost. So we have the bot TS, which is just the normal, you know, start file for the bot. So we have, it looks a lot more complicated than normal. We've got it in TypeScript and we've got like a proper kind of way of doing it. It still works the same, but it's just better. I'm not going to bother going into that part, but basically here's the start, which is the function that gets called to start up the bot. So we have like we have a custom thing for loading commands instead of commando, and instead of it's just making your own custom command handler. Then we say obviously if there's no config, then blah blah blah. This is the ready event, so when it's ready we're going to set it to the game. We're going to set the activity, you know, playing with Dapper Dino commands. You've seen all this. This is just stuff in the console, you know, when it's online started, all that lot. This is what gets called when we add a member, so it gives them an embed, so it says welcome person and just the color. I sent you a thingy with the details, thanks for joining the other, and then it gets how many people are in the server, .toString, of us. Now this is technically correct. You might expect me to have to take one off here to get the right value, because if it's join the other, you don't include yourself. But when you actually get this value, it doesn't include the bot. The bot doesn't count as a member, I think. And if it does, then it still gives me the right value, and it might also be because it calculates this value before the person really is added. So whatever it is, it works right. And I don't know really why I've got brackets here, but hey, I can leave them in. Sincerely, your friend Dapper Bot. Then we say if they have, so if they, if it's not null, so if they do have an avatar profile picture, so if they have a profile picture, we'll send that one. So just like in the welcome, we send the thing. Whereas if they don't have a profile picture, if they're using the default Discord one, you can't actually access that and send it. So I just send the Dapper Bot icon, just, you know, as like a placeholder, I guess. Then we, you know, we create an embed, and so we send all this to the welcome channel. Then we send the person themselves that joined an embed with the rules and whatever, just so they read it then and they can forget about it, I guess, as long as they follow them. I mean, we're not too strict in the server, but like there are some things on here which, you know, are a bit annoying if you don't follow them, but it's not too much. And then at the end of sending that message, we give them the member role, so we have to do it ourselves. It's auto moderation. It's good. And then when they leave, you know, person, it's shame you had to leave us, whatever, simple. Then this is what happens when they get when they message. So, you know, we work out the XP to add. Then we say congrats if you've leveled up. We save the XP. Obviously you can pause at any point in this if you want to read it. Then this is the whole checking commands. So it says for each command in the list of commands, if it's valid, blah, blah, blah. So we do all that. And then load commands is just the thing we called up at the top, sorry, here to actually load all the commands. And if you look down here, oh, sorry, on the side, we have our commands folder with all our current commands, which we're building on. So let's go to the top and just quickly work our way down. So add FAQ. This is all the imports, so we use like the custom API for the bot. That's just one that was already in, I don't know. Then we've got obviously disco.js. We have access to all these different things that we've got. Now, I'm going to start with a different command because the add FAQ one's a bit more complicated. So we'll start with ban. You've seen ban before. I've done a video on bans. I basically use the same code here, you know. So if they don't have permission to do it, we're going to send them that they don't have permission, and we're going to return. If they do have permission, then we're going to say, the person they mentioned is the user that's going to get banned, and if that person doesn't exist, we can't find them, so we're going to return. Then we work out the reason, because that's like the second, that's index 2 of the joint string. And then we'll make the embed, so, banned user, whatever. Now, currently, the only person that's been banned is just someone who joined and, like, spammed ads and stuff, so, it's not often we need to ban people, but you never know, some people, just in case. Then we delete, when it does message, message object here is actually just what message normally is. It's just we have message object. That's because I wanted to differentiate it from message string. So message object is the message object itself, and the message string is just the content part of it. So if you remember back in my first video, message.content is just the string that they sent, whereas like message has access to when it was sent, who sent it, and all that lot. So you got more data on that. And when you want to delete the message, you can't delete the string, you delete the object. So that's how it works. And obviously if I tried just msg.delete, it would say, yep, the string does not have type delete like function on it, and it doesn't. Then we're going to say, now this is some like TypeScript kind of thing with types. You can actually see what happens is when I run it, it actually converts it to JavaScript. So ban, if I go into like data, wait, where is it? I'm losing it. Ban, it converts it to JavaScript and changes some things. You don't really need to know much about that. You can download this project if you want, but you'll have to change quite a few things if you want to just use it like that. Now we've got ban. As I said, that's obvious. You just ban them, do the role, whatever. This is ban. This is the reason. We have bot info. It's a really simple command I made at the start. This is where I choose what the actual command is. So question mark bot info. And what happens is, we have a command called. So if I just do somewhere like bot testing, if I do commands, the bot will send me a list of all the commands, and what it does is it goes through each of these commands and it runs the get help function, and it returns obviously caption and description. So I make an embed with the caption and the description, so that over here, whenever I add a new command, it gets added automatically to here, which is really helpful. That's pretty simple, to be honest. It's just an embed. Then commands, obviously that's the one that sends you it. So it says here's a list of all the commands. For each command, add fields, blah blah blah. So that's what I was just talking about. Send that to them, and then in the server say, hello person, I've just sent you a list of all the commands. Then what this does is message object.delete 0 means as soon as they send the message and we receive it, delete it, and then after 5 seconds, so 5,000 milliseconds, we want to delete the actual embed thing that they sent, the new message. So that's just so it doesn't clutter the channel when they ask for stuff. Then we have doggo, whatever. It just grabs a picture from a URL, puts it in the embed. Flip is just a coin flip. So options is your coin line on heads, your coin line on tails. Then just send options, and then around this basically just generates an index between 0 and 1, which is either index 0 tails to index 1 heads. Yeah. Kick I've already gone through before. Level, this is the whole checking your level. If you actually go down to here, the bot is currently being ran on our own VPS, virtual private server, so it's up 24/7. This is just looking at the code that it's using, but it's not actually running through here. So if I go to this, it won't be completely accurate, but we have an xp.json. I'm currently a level 96. That shows you how active I am in the server. If we go across here, it's everyone's levels with their ID, an XP. Obviously, it would be hard to tell you who's who, but you can actually convert IDs back into names. I'm not going to do it for here. Obviously, mine's like 191965, and just to make sure it's me, I could go into the server, and I can right-click on me, copy ID, paste it, 19196, whatever. So that's me. Let's go back to the code. So that's the level. Mirror, that's a stupid thing I have. Let me show you quickly, if you haven't already seen it. So we have mirror, and what it does is it basically just replies with your icon, your profile picture, and it does a love heart react and then says you're looking beautiful today. That was just for me testing, doing reactions. So what you do is you say, if they don't have an avatar, sorry, if they do, if it's not null, then we do it, else we can't, because we can't get the picture. So I just say you broke the mirror or whatever. But if they do have a profile picture, we set the message itself to a variable so that we can do stuff with the variable afterwards. And if you if it's equal await, what it means is, because it's an asynchronous function, this code kind of stops executing until this task is done. This will only happen because it awaits for this, if you get what I mean. So basically, await means wait. Let m equal await this. So we're going to wait until this has been done. So when the message has been sent, until we set it to m. The reason for that is because if you run code normally, it'll just execute it as fast as it can. The problem is, because of like latency and internet and just other things with online services, or just programs in general, they have delay. So when you send a message through Discord, it won't be received instantly. So you can't react to it if it doesn't exist yet. That's why you wait for it to exist, then as soon as it does, you react to it instantly with the icon, with the emoji, sorry. And then if they do have picture, yeah, whatever. Ping, simply just, just ping and it gets you ping. Purge, I'll be going over this in my next video, but you can just get it from here, to be honest. It's pretty simple. Delete the person that did the purge command, like delete the message. Make sure they're an admin, basically. Get the amount of things they want to delete. So if I did question mark purge 100, it would delete 100. We make sure that the number they put in afterwards is actually is. So basically, is nan or nan means not a number. So if the amount is not a number, return, so we stop. But if it is a number, then we're going to say delete that many. Done. Report is basically the same as the ban and kick. Roll is just a normal, like, you rolled. Now we have different cases, so we say basically, if they don't put in a number, then we just use a 6-sided die. If they put 0 for the sides of the die, then we just have a, really? A 0-sided die? Really? Whatever. Then, I wrote these ages ago, so don't judge me. Then we say, if they actually did put in a valid number and it's not 0, we'll use that many faces. So, if they put in 1,000, it'll be between 1 and 1,000. It's between 1 and 1,000 because it's plus 1. Otherwise, it'd be 0 and 999. Then we get on to rock, paper, scissors, RPS. So if I quickly go use this, we have, RPS, and then you put in your choice, rock, paper, or scissors. So rock. Then it goes and it says, what a shame, I beat you with my paper against your puny rock. Whatever. And it also says, if you noticed under it, wins, losses, ties. So basically, I have on a file somewhere like game scores or something. Don't know what that is. It's down here somewhere. That's not accurate now because obviously it's on the VPS. But what it does is the command says, yeah, we're going to get what they said, and we're going to have a list of possible choices, rock, paper, or scissors, and we're going to basically say the bot is going to choose one of those. So the bot choice is one of those, 0, 1, or 2, index 0, 1, or 2. Set the embed, rock, paper, scissors, set the color. Then we're going to say if our choice is equal to the bot's choice, we tied, then ties plus 1, right? Makes sense. Then we have to have cases for each one because by default, bots don't know how to play rock, paper, scissors. Now, there's probably other ways of doing this that are better than this. I just messed around with it. So if their choice is scissors, if our choice is rock and their choice is scissors, that happens else. So that means we already know this can't be a rock because if it was a rock and we're a rock, then that'll get ran. So this has to be paper, and then paper, rock, this has to be scissors, scissors, paper, this has to be rock. And then what's at the end? Yet failed to play, because if they didn't enter like rock, paper, or scissors correctly, then that'll get run, saying, yep, you failed it wrong. And then we'll just give them an example so they know how to use the command. Then when we're done, we're going to write to the file the current game score so that it keeps updating. And then we'll do an embed saying, add the... I should probably do that in the footer, but I don't know. I've done it as a field. Basically, it's just saying, my stats. So we have my stats, then that under it. Yep, it's better. So wins, that many wins, game, losses, whatever. And then we delete it after 5 seconds. So it doesn't clog up the channel if people playing rock, paper, scissors. RTFM, that's... I don't really need to explain what that is, but basically, many people ask questions that I know the answer to, but they could easily know the answer to just by using the documentation. So RTFM is read the friggin' manual. So basically, the Holy Book of Disco Bots links them to the actual welcome page for the documentation, and So basically, if someone asks a question and I don't need to answer it for them because it's like right there in the documentation, like simply just search in the documentation, then they better figure it out themselves, because I'm not trying to be rude and not answering them, but the problem is if people just every single time they need something that's simple off the documentation, if they come and ask us, they're not going to learn, It's also a skill to learn how to use documentation, because you'll use different software in different languages and different libraries, and you need to learn how to use the documentation. Like, whenever I come to something new now, I have to learn new documentation, whether it be Unity, Discord.js, I don't know, QuickDB for database like stuff. There's all the documentation, and it's all there. You just have to know how to read it and how it works. It's not the hardest thing to understand, to be honest. Like, let's say, for example, I want to know, how to kick someone. What does the kick command work like? Guildmember.kickable.kick. The hashtag just means dot, basically. So guild member is the type, which is type member, and kick is the command, so it's a function, kick brackets parameters. Whereas kickable, you can pretty much tell as a variable. It's a boolean, I know for a fact, which is type boolean, whether they're kickable or not. So if you say if guild member, so if Dapper Dino, whatever, if you have reference to me, if message.member.kickable, which would be is true, or .kickable equals false, you can do something whether they are kickable or not. And the way you would know in Discord if they're kickable or not is like depending on permissions and what role they are. But kick itself, as you see here, kick, and then it takes in one parameter reason, kick them. The parameter is a string. It's optional. See, it tells you everything. It's not default, so it's optional. You can just put in. It's the reason for kicking them. Then it gives you an example. Member.kick. Obviously, if you just do that, it's optional, so it doesn't have a reason. You don't need one. I think the reason is what gets sent to them when they get kicked to let them know why, and same with a ban. But also with bans, it gets stored in the server, so it's like you can look at history of bans. Now, I should probably come to a close in this video soon. I'll keep going for a little bit more. Server info, just some info about the server, simple. Suggest. So in this, it's a lot more complicated, and you can go look at it yourself. Basically, we designed a command handler for doing these commands where it requires like different inputs, rather than having one line of (suggest space this, space that, and just all like confusing, like using slashes to split them up. We just have it. So here's a test thing to show you. Obviously, this is actually going to submit it, but it's fine. I've got the same thing for the add FAQ, so I'll show you quickly. So if we go to the Dapper Dino website, okay, dapperdino.co.uk. Let me just quickly go back. So the add FAQ command is the same kind of thing. What it does is it has 5 different steps to it. We've been working on this for a while. So we have 5 different steps, and it basically asks us something, we respond. Asks us something, we respond. Asks us something, we respond, and so on. Then at the end, depending on how we responded and how we did it, it works differently. So if I go to our FAQ page, you currently see our FAQs here are linked up with, this is just like obviously work in progress, but our FAQs are linked up with the FAQ channel. So if I go to Discord and I do add FAQ, something question, I just type some spam answer, and it says, would you like to add a resourceful URL related to the FAQ? Yes. https:// youtube.com that's right, https youtube.com, then URL mask YouTube, like that. Then as you see, we've got an embed queue. Now, so you could make that embed anyway, or you could just do the message normally, but I'm going to delete that now. Now what you'll see is if we refresh the web page now, it's not actually updated. I can't actually check if that worked because I don't have access to the bot this minute. But basically, what it would normally do, but the main thing I was trying to show you there was the input, which is good that I didn't actually submit it because I didn't really want it to. We've created our own handler for this, so dialog handler. I can show you this. It's probably quite complicated to you, those of you that are new to this, kind of. But what it does is, it takes in the list of steps, and for each, it loops that many times. So obviously we added 5 steps, so it loops 5 times. And it does the channel.await messages, which is a function in the library for in Discord.js. And what it does is, it basically just waits in that channel, and as soon as that user responds, or as soon as anyone responds, like puts in a message, it will read that and get it. Now, you put in a filter, and you can have no filter, I think, or you can put the filter to be blank. Now, how this filter works here is, it basically says, for the variable m, if m.member is equal to ticket user, and ticket user is the person who sent the command. So basically, we're only going to filter out everything that isn't this. So we're only going to filter in people that, like the person that actually sent it. So if other people are talking at the same time in the channel, it's not going to pick them up too. So that's good. That's what we want. Maximum 1, which just means it's gonna, as soon as one has been sent, it's done. It has no max time, so it just waits for a response. Then we have callback functions, which basically are functions that get called back when this has been done. So after we've done one, we're going to call back to the whichever one we're in. So we go back to FAQ. Here's the callback, CB func, callback func, and we just add the thing to a list. If it doesn't already exist, we'll whatever. There's a lot to go through with this, so I could do this on a separate video, to be honest. And once it's done, it basically just goes on to the next one until it's done. And when it's done, we return. The data. Though if we actually set end early to true at some point, we can return it early. We check after each input, and the benefit to that is if they put no for the do you want to add a URL, we can end early. So that's pretty helpful. Anything else we got really? We've got some little like models we made for the API, but that's something for another video as well. I'm trying to put too much into one. We've got a ticket command you could use now. You can basically, if you need help and we're not online, and as long as you don't spam this, then it will be happy to help. What you do is you do ?ticket. You don't put any information afterwards. You just put ticket, and then it asks you like to write your ticket or put a title for your ticket, and then put a description, and then we'll get sent the ticket with the description, and you'll be assigned automatically to a random happy to help person, and that'll be like your assigned person to help you, and they will know who they're with, like assigned to, and if they personally aren't good at that thing. So let's say, for example, not everyone in the Happy to Help is going to be good at Unity. Not everyone in the Happy to Help is going to be good with Discord bots. They can reappoint it to someone else that's in Happy to Help that they knows that thing. And then maybe for the sake of our sake, we could have a little tally chart of like how many people have helped through tickets and so on. You know, we can have something like that. But as you see, we're building up the whole system. So we're working on the website. As I said, it's just like a template website currently with our own FAQ page. The home page is just like random, like these people aren't us, this is just all random stuff. We've just shoved the picture in the background, that's all we did, and made it green. But obviously we're working on that currently, working on the channel, working on the bot, working on everything. So just please understand that I'm busy, and I also have just started school back, so I am very busy, but I'm going to try and do daily videos. I said I did, and I started one yesterday, and I've got one today, and I'm going to have one tomorrow. Hopefully it's an actual Discord bot tutorial tomorrow. I should have it up and running then. I'll have a look at the problem. But I thought you might like this video because, you know, people have asked plenty of times to look into like a complex bot or anything like this now. Did I just break this? I don't know, I'm not actually going to be using it right now. This isn't the code that's been ran this second. I probably haven't pulled the latest thing from the GitHub repo that me and Mickey are working on. But anyway, it works. The bot works. It's online now. Yep, you see. Go use it as much as you want. But anyway, this video is running on. I hope you like the video. If you haven't already, then obviously subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot. Join the Discord server as well if you're seeing this and you haven't joined the server. Take part, ask questions, give suggestions for the bot. That's like one of the biggest things right now. We just want more command ideas. But apart from that, you know, thanks for watching and goodbye.